Bună ziua, bine ați venit. Well, a welcome return to this channel, and I'm going to try and do a bit more on here. I've been requested to do so, so I will. Today I'd like to talk about a book I really enjoyed and enjoy teaching by Alfred Andersch called Zanzibar, oder letzte Grund. Zanzibar, or the final reason. Now, Andersch was an author. He published this in 1957. It relates to events 20 years previously, 1937, in northern Germany, in a little town on the Baltic Sea called Rerik. Andersch was a member of the Gruppe 47, and was obviously anti-Nazi. The book is interesting for several reasons. The first is that it deals with a real sculptor, Berlach, who did a sculpture called Der lesende Klosterschüler, the reading monk, I suppose. And Berlach was regarded by the Nazis as being part of entartete Kunst, so he wasn't allowed to display his sculptures, and the Nazis went round confiscating and destroying his sculptures. Thankfully they didn't succeed, because many of them were concealed in the Lüneburger Heide, the heathland around Hamburg, and were saved. And you can go and see his sculptures nowadays in Kiel. Kiel probably has the finest collection of his sculptures. The novel is interesting because of its construction and because of its meaning. Zanzibar, oder der letzte Grund. You pick up this book and you think, oh, it's going to be about Zanzibar. No, it's got nothing to do with Zanzibar. It's about North Germany and someone trying to escape before the war breaks out, but after the oppression of the Jewish population has begun. It's told from 5 distinct voices. The first person we meet is Gregor, who is a communist who is becoming disillusioned, or has become disillusioned. He's been to Moscow, he's moved back to Germany. Clearly being a communist in Nazi Germany wasn't a good idea. There's a very beautiful scene which strikes me as he comes through the Kieferwald, the pine forest, going into Rerik, and it describes the road as being like Naht zwischen den beiden Vorhanghälften. It's like a zip between the two hanging curtains. So Gregor is coming back. I'm not going to do spoilers, don't worry. If you haven't read the book, I'm not going to do too many spoilers. I'll do a few, but not too many. Gregor is coming to Rerik to make contact with a communist contact called Knudsen. Knudsen is a fisherman, who describes himself as a stumme fish. He's very annoyed that the party hasn't done more to resist the rise of the Nazis. The Nazis are never described as Nazis. They're described as die anderen, the others. But Knudsen has become disillusioned with the party and doesn't want to interact with Gregor. Our next character is called Helander. Now, Helander is a World War I veteran who has lost his leg and has problems with after the amputation with his leg. He's in pain, constant pain. He's probably a Lutheran pastor, and is beginning to lose his faith. So we've got three people who've lost their faith in something. It's very interesting. And the chapters are split by character. It's really interesting because you see the point of view from each character's point of view. Gregor is becoming disillusioned with the party and wants to get out of Germany. Helander is wondering whether his religious faith means anything anymore. Knudsen, who is the fisherman and the sailor, has a handicapped wife, Berta, at home. The two other characters are Judith, rather obvious name from Andersch. She's a Jewess who is trying to escape from Germany before the roundups will happen. In order to enable this, her mother has committed suicide, so she has no reason to stay at home in Nuremberg, and she's come to the north, the Baltic coast. And the final, perhaps the most interesting, the most important character in this novel is Der Junge, the young boy, who is the Lehrling. He's the apprentice of Knudsen on the boat. And he is the key to the title of the book and to the meaning of the book, essentially. He wants to leave Rerik as well. Why? Weil nichts los war, because there's nothing happening. He wants to leave Rerik, the second reason, because his father was an alcoholic sailor who's died, and he carries the stigma of this alcoholic father with him. And then finally, he dreams of a new world. He thinks he's read Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, and he thinks of Zanzibar as a magical destination where he can be free and escape everything that he's enduring in Rerik. Okay, so Rerik is not too far from Switzerland. It's a long way from Switzerland. It's not too far from Sweden, so they can get across. But there are people out there mit Scheinwerfern, so with lights to catch people who are trying to escape from Germany. Well, briefly, what happens to them is that some of them escape in different ways. This sculpture of Der lesende Klosterschule is a symbol of freedom. So Gregor decides to take it away before it's destroyed, and asks Knudsen to help. Helander is keen to help him, and they, after a long struggle, get it to the boat, and he manages to get it away. But the price for taking Der lesende Klosterschule is that Gregor will not leave Germany. He will not escape. Knudsen suspects him of being in it for himself, and he says no, he's not in it for himself. He just wants to get Judith and Der lesende Klosterschule out of Germany. Helander realizes there will be consequences for his action in getting rid of the sculpture, and faces up to this with his trusty old World War I pistol. And I won't tell you the outcome, but he rediscovers his faith towards the end of the book and sees writing on the walls in front of him. Knudsen does the right thing, helps Judith and the Klosterschule to escape, but then has to come back because of his wife Bertha, because he's bound to her. Judith manages to escape. Der Junge is perhaps the most contentious character. He escapes. He's in Sweden. He's free. He catches fish. But Judith tells him if he doesn't go back with Knudsen, Knudsen will be inevitably punished for having helped him to escape. So he makes a brave decision. And I can thoroughly recommend this beautiful book. Andersch's final book was also very interesting, and I won't spoil it, but the father of a murderer, and goes very deeply into the German psyche. So, if you haven't read this book, I don't know if it's available in English. I don't know. Sansibar, oder der letzte Grund. Zanzibar, or the last reason, the final reason. Do enjoy it, and let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. See you in the next one.